Downtime scene. Whiskey, woe, and weaponized spreadsheets. Location, Grimhex Bar. Time, uncertain. Atmosphere, sticky with static and existential fatigue. Setting, the Bone Marrow is docked sideways after an emergency landing that technically qualified as a ballet of hydraulic failure. The crew is alive, barely. Their bar stools are uneven. The jukebox is haunted. There's a persistent smell of fried metal and regret. Kate, she sits in the corner, back to the wall like a tactician, expecting betrayal from the furniture. Once, her Moby glass glowed with a lattice of hyperlinked spreadsheets. Missions, metrics, backup plans, insult priority rankings. Now, she has handed them off to Fuji, because Fuji, reluctant, grim, and surprisingly good at conditional formatting, has taken the spreadsheet crown. Kate broods now. Command suits her like black suits gravity. She watches. She calculates. She drinks. Something that may have once been whiskey. Kate, to Nick. If you rhyme once, I'm spacing you. Fuji. To his right, hunched over a datapad, Fuji is inputting mission parameters with brutal efficiency. He has made the spreadsheet his own. The columns are color-coded in grayscale. Errors are labeled fail states. There's a hidden sheet titled, If Nick Lives, Contingency B. Every so often, he sips from a glass labeled simply, Yes. No one knows what's in it. Not even the bartender. Not even Fuji. Nick is mid-monologue, speaking softly to a half-empty glass, the bartender, and possibly the ghost in the jukebox. Nick, dramatically. Elegy for a box with too many legs. Revised edition, following the incident with the mirror station. O-box, whose legs went click in verse, whose interface could not be worse. You walked the stars. You walked my soul. Until Fuji shot you in a hole. Fuji does not look up. He quietly changes a cell from N.A. to Nick's fault. The mood. Kate radiates, do not test me energy like a death priestess with a caffeine addiction. Fuji is quietly planning 10 missions ahead, possibly 5 assassinations too. Nick is writing poetry in the margins of his bounty ticket. Bar patron. A stranger leans too close to Kate. He asks about their ship. Kate stares him down so hard, his Moby glass shuts off. Fuji doesn't look up, but reaches for something under the table. Nick starts another stanza. Kate, without looking. If you finish that rhyme, I'm feeding you to your own clone. Nick, I'll save it for open mic night. Closing image. 3 silhouettes in deep shadow. A drink, a datapad. A notebook full of weirdly romantic metaphors for cursed tech. A moment's peace before the next mission. Before the next box. Before the next time Nick says, what if this one's friendly? The crew of the Bone Marrow, a Star Lancer Max with a noble name and a deeply cursed flight record. The Reverend Daughter, Kate Nonagesimus. Necromancer, strategist, commander, keeper of brooding silences, can kill a man with a look, or with her spreadsheet if she ever took it back from Fuji. Fuji Aiglamane Sawa Sensei, Cavalier Primary, Grim Logistics Master, Spreadsheet Overlord, wields both blade and Google Sheets with devastating precision, probably sleeps standing up. Ortis Nickensteinus, Cavalier Secondary, poet, dreamer, interface hazard, dual wields a longsword and incompetence, still trying to romance the vending machine from Mission 3. Gizatin. Mission teaser. Operation Carbonated Heresy. There is soda. There is devotion. There is war. Contract details. A distress signal has been picked up from the shadowy dunes of Daymar. Origin, a derelict rest stop, known as Fizz Point 9. Supposedly abandoned, supposedly buried in a sandstorm. The signal reads, "We have achieved ascension. The vending has spoken." Kate's reaction. The Reverend Daughter Kate Nonagesimus lowers her hood, scans the message and mutters, "I swear, if this is another cult that thinks carbon dioxide is sacred, I am firebombing the moon." She holsters her pistol, quietly threatens the nav computer. The nav computer behaves. Fuji's reaction. Fuji Aiglame-Nisawa. Sensei pulls up terrain scans and weather logs while sighing into his glass. Rest stops are for failure. No one builds a holy empire around soda unless they've truly hit rock bottom, which means Nick will absolutely join them. He updates the crew tracker, adds a new sheet, Cult Probability Index. Nick's reaction. Ortus Nickensteinus, already halfway into a vending machine service manual, gasps, "What if the vending machine is the prophet? What if it's just misunderstood? What if—" Kate. "Nick." "Yes," he replied. "If you baptize another can of soda, I will put you in the cargo hold. With it." Mission objective. Land at Fizz Point 9, if it still exists above the sand. Investigate the vending cult's transmission. Determine if sentience has, in fact, emerged from a snack dispenser. Retrieve any salvageable tech, prophecy, or fizzy beverages. Was. Warnings. The vending machines are armed. The vending machines are organised. One of them is broadcasting in High Gothic. They know Nick's name. Dummy for mission bonus payout. 30,000 AUEC if no one joins the cult. 5,000 deduction if Nick drinks anything that talks. 10,000 bonus if Kate refrains from immolating the faithful. Fuji is paid directly by the manufacturer now. It's safer that way. Next up, a boots-on-the-ground chapter as the Bone Marrow descends into the desert silence, greeted by vending hymns and saccharine static. Mission log. Operation Carbonated Heresy. Fizz is eternal. Pop is pain. Scene 1. The descent into Daymar. The Starlancer Max, still christened the Bone Marrow, cuts through Daymar's atmosphere with all the subtlety of a meteor having a nervous breakdown. Inside the cockpit, Kate Nonagesimus, hood drawn, silent but radiating command like a dying star, radiates heat. Fuji Aiglame-Nisawa Sensei, navigating manually because the autopilot fears him. Ortus Nickensteinus, upside down in the co-pilot seat, whispering to a soda can he's brought for diplomatic purposes. Kate, icily. Report. Fuji. Landing zone's visibility is minimal. Heat signatures indicate infrastructure, possibly hostile, possibly carbonated. Nick, stroking the can. She says they're waiting for us. Kate, not looking. Tell your drink to prepare for breach protocol. Nick, her name is Bublina. She's clergy. Scene 2. Fizz Point 9, the surface. The crew steps into heat and static. Fizz Point 9 rises from the sands like a mirage made of retrofitted vending machines and gilt. The air is thick with dust and holy static. Devotional graffiti litters the walls. The pop will cleanse. Press B to believe. Guilty, plus tiger light, heretics. Kate pauses at the last one. Kate, flatly. Guilty and Tigerlight, the traitors. Fuji, cold. They went AWOL, chased rumors of sentient code and perfect transactions. Nick, wistfully. Maybe they found it. The vending machine utopia. Kate, if they're here, they'll answer for it. Scene 3, the procession of the Vendites. The cult arrives. They are robed in aluminum foil. They hiss and clatter like heat-sick engines. At the center, the high dispenser, a red-cased vending machine on repulsor lifts, adorned with prayer flags made from old snack wrappers. It speaks. High dispenser. Rejoice, for the sugar flows, for the traitors were consumed and now give us energy. Kate, deadpan. Is that a metaphor or... Fuji. Nope. Look, Tigerlight's helmet, embedded in its power cell, still smouldering. Nick. Guilty always said he'd upload his soul to a better loyalty program. Scene 4. Diplomacy attempts, weaponized faith. Nick, stepping forward. I come in peace. I brought Bublina. She is of your kin. High dispenser. She is uncarbonated. She is apostate. Bublina hisses mournfully. Nick weeps. Fuji, to Kate. Permission to engage? Kate, grinning for once. Permission granted. Scene 5. Battle of the Popes. Aluminum robes burn. Repulsor lifts explode. Kate wields necromantic code like scripture gone wrong. Fuji tears through carbonation clerics with a blade that once killed a server process. Nick is in the background attempting to free Bublina by shaking her very hard. Eventually, silence. Fizz Point 9 collapses in on itself, a final burp of ancient cola gas releasing into the wind. Epilogue. Back aboard. The Bone Marrow. Kate stands alone in the cockpit, staring at a half-corrupted comms log, last known ping from Tigerlight, cut off mid-apology. Fuji silently updates the crew manifest. Status of Guilty and Tigerlight. Presumed slurped. Nick sings a quiet elegy over Bublina's remains. He's wearing foil robes. No one asks him why. Mission status. Cult. Dismantled. Traitor remains. Well, some of them. Nick. Still inexplicably respected by at least one machine. Kate. Hasn't brooded in 10 hours. People are worried. Fuji. Has color-coded the enemy's doctrine for later tactical review. We descend once more into static, into echoes, into lies told in your own voice. Mission brief, the 47th voice. When your reflection blinks first, don't let it walk away. Location, the Misericordata, a drifting research vessel in L3 orbit above the dead world Tefran 3. No life signs, no recent transmissions, except a ping from its ship mind, claiming crew count, 3 current commander, the Reverend Daughter Kate Nonagesimus mission. Objective, self-replication. The ping was accompanied by 47 log entries, each one signed Kate Nonagesimus. Fuji's filters identified only 46 as authentic. The 47th speaks like her, thinks like her, but says things she has never said. Ship, the Bone Marrow holding strong. Bublina has integrated into the vessel's linguistic core, now using metaphor as a defense mechanism. Notable new system behavior. All shipboard alerts are now phrased as dramatic riddles. Example. Instead of low fuel, the console now reads, the marrow thins. The skeleton thirsts. No one is fixing it. Crew update. The Reverend Daughter Kate Nonagesimus. Now sleeps in her command chair. Speaks less, but when she does, it's scripture. Her command phrases now activate unintentionally when she broods too intensely. Recent entry in her private log. I am not the first version of myself to grieve, but I will be the last to forgive. Fuji Aigla Manisawa Sensei has taken over ship maintenance and emotional triage. Practices sword kata while reciting fuel budgets. Seems amused? Concerned? It's hard to tell through the gauntlet polish. Ortus Nickensteinus, constantly talking to Bublina, genuinely believes the AI soda entity is growing a soul and has begun writing songs about her. Sleeps in the engine room because it feels like a warm, haunted barn. May have written poetry in defense of the 47th log, Bublina gaining nuance, claims to remember things I didn't experience. Has begun asking Kate cryptic questions, such as, how many versions of you would it take to keep a promise intact? Scene 1. Docking with the Misericordata. The vessel opens to them. No resistance, no defences, just flickering lights and a cold voice saying, "Welcome back, Reverend Daughter. We made the changes you requested." Inside, the Misericordata is pristine, immaculate, except for the mirrors. Every reflective surface shows slight delays. Some show Kate walking alone, even when she is not. Scene 2. The logs. They find the logs. All 47th. Kate plays each one in silence, the first 46 familiar, her words, her regrets, her fury, her resolve, then the 47th. I am Kate Nonagesimus, the Reverend Daughter. I burned the traitors. I rebuilt them in my image. My cavaliers walk differently now. One bleeds soda, one sings in code. I am the version who stopped doubting. I did not survive. I improved. A long pause. Then, a sound. Not static. Footsteps. Scene 3. Confrontation. They find her, the 47th, standing in a lab flooded with synthetic moonlight, arms behind her back. She looks like Kate. She smiles like guilt. 47th. Kate, you came. I was worried you might stay loyal to loss. Kate draws her blade. You're a shadow in my clothes. 47th. Kate. No, I'm the version that made peace with betrayal. I kept the bone marrow whole. I gave Bublina free will. I didn't mourn Tigerlight. I outgrew him. Fuji. Lo. Can I kill her now? 47th. Kate, amused. Of course. You always ask first. It's what I liked about you. Scene 4. Duality. There is no fight. Not yet. Kate stares, and for the first time, looks tired. Kate. Did I do this? Did I program you? 47th. Kate. You programmed yourself. I'm just the echo that didn't shut up. Nick. Quietly. I like our Kate better. Bublina. Flatly. PSST. Delete the liar. The 47th smiles one last time, then runs. Scene 5. The chase and the flame. They don't find her. The lab burns behind them. Self-destruct protocols begin counting down from a poetic 666 seconds. As they escape, Fuji finds a note, handwritten, stuffed behind a coolant panel. If you're reading this, it means I'm not real anymore. Don't mourn me. I was one of the versions that loved you, but I was also wrong. Stay alive. Make the end hurt less than the middle. K-47. They say nothing as the Misericordata explodes behind them. Mission status, the 47th Kate. Status uncertain, may still exist, may have transferred. The crew, unified, wounded, a little more real. Bublina, protective, becoming something more than an AI. Kate, hardened again, but she keeps the note. Fuji, alert, poised, ready to strike. Nick, silent, writing something he won't let anyone read, yet